Yep.
It works.
Have a show still.
Don't think we've got anybody watching us, but it is working. That's
That's a start.
I even got a notification. Wow.
hello, nobody.
Bear with us while we all share out the link of the show that just now an hour late went live.
If we keep going like this, we'll be up to Lee's standards.
Oh, Craig's watching. You're not meant to be watching. You're meant to be. Yeah, you kid.
I can watch
Hey,
and talk on here at the same time.
Bajan.
Good evening.
Hey, buddy.
There we go.
Seriously, we
Hey,
should,
Melissa. Hey, Rajan.
should do a bit of a congratulations. I've been keeping an eye on Mel's Facebook.
Oh, God.
No, this isn't one of my jokes.
And-
fuck off.
And the 60 minutes music starts playing in the background.
Mel has been doing a lot of walking for exercise, like 10,000 steps a day shit.
I've been seeing that. I think she had like 13,000 the other day or something crazy.
I only clock up 500 to the fridge. Anyway.
Well,
But
that's
she's
revolutions
done
now,
really
Matt.
well. No, well done, Melissa. Well done, Mel.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling a little bit better this week as well.
Yeah.
Right, last week, I want to put the other thing is I want to put an apology out to people. And I'm doing it live, and I don't care. Last week, when that person was on with us, Steve, comments that were made, which were inappropriate, I wasn't happy with. Everybody is allowed to have an opinion, whatever that opinion be, but there are limits. And when those are going to cause people to become upset, I'm not happy about it, especially when one of the people who's upset was somebody that I'm casting with. Not happy about that. So I apologise to anybody who was watching who may have been upset by any of that. Yeah, I hope you are doing better this week, but it still stands, Melissa. If you want to talk to any of us,
Yeah.
just send us a message. Honestly,
No,
it's not an
absolutely.
issue.
Well, it's for anybody, you know.
You might end up with random waffling in between what you're talking about, which is
Mike,
No,
Which is quite standard.
because it's what I do best. But you're more than welcome. Yeah. What were we? Oh, yeah, drugs. Well, no.
Segue.
Medication.
Medication.
Availability of medication.
Drugs. Yeah, availability. And the NHS. Oh.
And their difficulty getting hold of a lot of important medication.
The national horror system at the moment.
It is.
Well, that's like over here. All the people that actually need, whether it's bipolar, antidepressants, along those lines, there's been so many sudden rising cases of people that need these medications out of nowhere that all of a sudden there's shortages of everything. And there's kids that can't get ADHD medication.
Yeah. The issue we've got is for some reason, and I had this from a consultant who I spoke to the other day because I had an appointment. Was they are being told by the government to cut back on the amount of medication they give to people. So it isn't directly an NHS issue. It is a government issue. Again, they're trying to cut down the amount they spend on medication for people who need it. Now, if somebody is abusing medication, like went on in America with the fentanyl problem, was it Tylenol?
No, honestly, man, this has been a few years. Back when I was a teenager. Keep that in mind. But there's Adderall. Adderall was really bad, and so was what were they?
There was one of the codeine variants as well.
That's what it was. I was trying to think what it was.
Demerol?
Shoot, I haven't been in that life for a very, very long time, guys.
No, it was. But, Yeah, there was an issue in America, but
Oh,
there
the
isn't so-
Xanax problem. That was a big one. The Xanax problem was everywhere.
Yeah.
the fentanyl problem was caused by the fucking American government.
It was.
Sorry. You say what you like. The American government can say what they like. That fentanyl issue, and there's plenty of far, far, far bigger YouTubers who said the same thing. The fentanyl epidemic was caused by the government.
Right,
I
Gary.
I
Hey,
literally
Gary.
have heard firsthand stories
Hey,
from people
bud.
that know people that had got so far into the fentanyl, the patches that they were giving out, like the prescribed patches, they were eating those.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there were
Wow.
stories. There's even stories of people rolling up fentanyl patches to put them into like cigarettes with heroin and things like that. I mean, some horrendous stories. Not that people want to know about the horror stories. They're all out there if you want.
Hmm.
But the UK problem
don't touch your moms.
is the government are trying to cut back and save money. It's that simple.
Yeah. At the minute, I can't get an anti-inflammatory. It's the only one that seems to work for me.
So your swelling's been getting worse, Bill.
Yeah.
In the wrong places.
Yeah. I don't want my hands to swell.
Right, because everything by comparison looks
Everything looks tiny.
Now it's too late for that anyway. But these rings, I'd lost weight in such a way that all of my rings were loose.
Yeah.
And I only bought this ring just over 2 weeks ago.
was it about
I
2-3
can no
weeks ago?
longer
Yeah.
move it. I can no longer move it because the swelling. And that's despite being put on a newer medication that's supposed to help, and it's not.
Yeah.
The drug that was working well, they can't get hold of.
I'm not, from what I was told, and I'm not saying who this consultant was because it wouldn't be fair for me to do that. He implied categorically that this is come down from the government.
Are they trying to make people as a general public lose their minds and then
He
they can?
basically said, and there's another bit to this as well, which is a bit worrying, especially for us, me and Alana as a couple, is that Gwendolyn's being diagnosed for ADHD. Not got an issue with that, and possibly autism, which I think she pretty much she is.
Yeah.
It's not an issue, I'll deal with that. No worries.
No, she reminds me of Trent. It is what it is, man. It's not a
It
big.
is what it is. That's like, you
Yeah.
deal with it. It doesn't make any difference to me.
Well, yeah.
Hi,
The
Lee.
trouble is,
Hey,
hey,
Hey, Lee.
everybody, thank you for today, mate. You know what? Is that they're now saying that anybody who is over a certain age will not be diagnosed.
Did you say it was
won't
over like 16 or 18, something like that?
Yeah,
They refused to diagnose
they
anybody.
will not diagnose you. So even if you've got serious autism, and another person who often comes in here is G, who's had a lot to do with the care side of it. G was a carer. He said the same. Is that they're stopping it for people with serious. I mean, we're talking about people who can't vocalize for autism. It could be that, Lee. It could very well be the Irish potato syrup.
yeah,
Hi,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Hey up, Lise. Lisa's gonna probably, when she works out that we're talking about the NHS and how the NHS is cutting back on giving people medication. I actually think, personally, now the more I look at it, I think we're heading for an American system.
I think we're heading for a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I only said hello, Lisa. There is no need to call me an arsehole. It wasn't true. I mean, it's,
I just came back, and that's the first thing I see, Matt. Come on.
I mentioned Lisa, and that is the first thing I got back.
No, it's
Yeah,
The way they're going about things, Lisa, I can't say you're really wrong for thinking that.
the scary
Honestly.
thing is, obviously, I know more about Lisa's dad, probably, and it's unfair of me to say what ailments Lisa's dad has, but he's not a well man, and he isn't a very, he's not a young man.
Mm-hmm.
They fucked up in the first place regarding
Yes.
a certain surgery, and now they're fucking about with his medication on top of that.
I'm
If
telling
you
you,
don't,
it's the same thing we talked about before, though, Matt. It's they're past a certain age group, so you're not viable to work, so you're not contributing anything. You're just taking from the government. So why do we want to help you?
well,
Because we put in our years of work already.
I
you
mean-
you guys have been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
being Bill, no youngsters, and Lisa's dad's obviously a bit older than us, quite a bit older. So, is it the fact the government are just going, yeah, he's over 30?
yeah, but
Yeah.
I did my work in life.
Most of us did, mate. And
Mm.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't all live with mom and dad until we're 54 years old. But
well, I'd struggle to live with my dad.
that's more than fair. That is more than fair, Bill.
Seeing as we scattered his ashes 45 years ago.
he only died 20, but
And the problem being too, after you scatter the S, then you got to keep moving. Oh, the wind changed. Let's keep going.
and that is the scary thing. That is a horrible thing, Lisa. I had similar with my mum and stuff. When they're saying that, yeah, I don't think they do it intentionally, but it doesn't do your mental health any good. Because it's obviously not doing his mental health any good. But you can kind of see at the same time where he's coming from. He's looking at the future and seeing nothing but hospitals and shit, basically.
Well, yeah.
But do not fear. Keir Starmer is here to rescue us all.
That's why I'm in the position I'm in.
I would quite happily hurt Keir Starmer.
Yeah. The last 2 months I've been in more pain than the previous 5 years. Because it's not just my hands, it's shoulders, back.
That's the one, Gary. He certainly is a gobshite.
Mm.
What he's doing at the minute is he's completely wrecking a country that was on its knees anyway, and he's making it worse and worse and worse.
And you got stuff over here. You got Trump trying to enact acts that were written in 1807.
There you go. Just so you guys can read that for yourself. Hey,
Do you want to
William.
put another stent in?
Hi, William.
Yes.
Hey, William.
Hiya, William.
This is an elderly man who has Parkinson's. And he's suffering all of this on top of Parkinson's, and
just general pain and everything else. Yeah.
It's wrong. It's wrong. But that's one person. Nobody can stand in Gary. Keir Starmer is hated by everybody in government, everybody in Parliament, everybody. I don't know what the man's plan. I don't know what his plan is to do. I don't know what he's trying to achieve.
I have to say, I am proud of our football supporters in Barcelona the other day.
Go on.
Who started Keir Starmer, started the whole Keir Starmer is a cunt chant and kept it going for most of the match.
Jeez.
That's good.
Can't argue with them.
Oh no.
Well, he
What would
must
have been
have.
funnier if he was actually at the match. It'd have been hilarious.
It would be more hilarious if he was at a rugby match and they used him as a ball.
Mm.
Might have to detach everything from neck down, but you know.
I would pay to see
No,
him.
no. You leave everything attached so that you can inflict as much injury as possible.
I would pay to see him in the middle of a rugby union field and hit full force in the middle of a tackle.
Yeah, but you gotta one guy hit high, one hit low, so it kind of tears him in half.
Yeah, just snaps him in half.
No, I would love to see him in a good league match.
Oh, God. Could always go with sevens.
Oh, stick him in a sevens match. He's dead.
He's getting round, though, isn't it, Martin? Everybody's
Yeah.
getting it. It's getting to be like a national thing about Keir Starmer now. He's actually hated. I mean, he's by not just like one person or one group of people. It's everybody.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, same thing over here. This is the funny part. We've always had okay presidents, bad presidents. You know the range as you guys had for years over there.
Yep.
I've never seen ever the public media, as far as like talk show hosts and stuff like that, openly just take the ever living piss out of the president on a daily basis for just anything he says or does. And there's no like, okay, this is the line, don't go past. No, they're going way past what anything would have been years ago. You know, because
Yeah.
it's past it now.
Keir Starmer's the first prime minister ever to get more than 50% of the population, not just the voters, against him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even his own party are against him.
I mean, they said Margaret Thatcher, you know, who was one of our prime ministers, was hated, right? And yes, she was by certain groups of people.
Yeah.
She wasn't hated this much.
No.
Not unilaterally like this.
No,
Shit.
nowhere near. Same with Trump. Trump has managed. I mean, he's got so many haters. That
Dude,
man.
his approval rating has dropped so far.
Oh yeah, that is truly. Yeah, hold my shandy. Watch this.
I mean, he's done in 10 months what the Tories took 14 years and actually didn't manage to get this bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I get people don't like certain politicians and prime ministers because they don't agree with their policies or whatever. I
But-
get that. That's cool.
But that's usually personal to a certain degree. This is not
It
the
is, yeah.
entire nation going, we hate this person for everything they're worth, which is very little anyway.
The UK at the
Mhm.
minute, the UK, I think it's just everybody. Obviously, there's a few idiots out there who probably think he's wonderful, but you know, there are a lot of
They
men.
probably have rather large bank accounts. They're not worried about things either.
There's a large mental.
Well, the one with large
Yeah,
bank
probably.
accounts are leaving.
Yeah.
Just straight,
Right.
not even caring and just leaving.
And that's bad.
We have to
Yeah,
think
and
about
then
what
the-
that does to the worth of the country.
Yeah, because they're not leaving their money in the banks here.
Right, they're taking
all of
everything.
their money out of this country and going to another country.
Hmm.
That's true, William. I think the vote of no confidence, Martin, I think will happen. I think the best person to answer that is probably Lisa, because Lisa keeps more up to date than parliamentary stuff than I do. But I do think it's coming.
Well, he's got 150 backbench revolt currently.
He is pretty revolting. I mean, what has made me laugh is in the past we've had prime ministers who've had allegations of, oh, they were up to something dodgy or they were involved in something a bit dodgy. America the same, Nixon and other presidents and so on.
I did not.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Right.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a prime minister here whose house and car were firebombed,
Yeah.
by 3 male models, who weren't male models, they were rent boys. You know what rent boy is?
Mm-mm.
Gay prostitutes.
Okay.
And nobody's said anything about this because he's trying to cover it up, push it under the carpet. Now,
Who does he owe money to? Shit.
Why did they do it? Why did they firebomb it? You don't firebomb somebody's house for no reason. You don't think one night, yeah, cool, let's go and firebomb someone's house. There's a
But
reason
not only
behind
that, know the house where he lives. Because it won't be common knowledge where his particular place of residence is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
there was research done. There was planning done.
The problem with
Unless
this
you've
is
already been there.
his security team had to know that those men, because I don't think they were boys, they were men, were going there for sexual relationships with our prime minister, allegedly.
I mean, how else do they get past security?
Well, easily, because he's prime minister. He would have told them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Other than them being directly told these people are allowed to come through, how did they get through to even do the damage?
Yeah.
Martin, behave. Exactly, William.
I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but I kind of have to. How else are you going to fund the Kelpie? Sorry.
The Kelpie Rent Boy edition. Oh, now look, you're starting me off.
It leaks from the back.
And a better screw. A better screw with them.
This RTA's a bit loose on the draw.
Damn.
Are these Uso rings?
Look, right, just go back.
I know.
Take a step back.
You see what you've done there, Martin?
I was just saying, you see when you started.
Just goes in a little bit. It's the damn method.
Rent Boy damn method.
You said I got too far. You just okay. We're done. We're done.
It was okay.
It's put you off it now, hasn't it, Radam? Right, back to that. Do you know, Gary, I thought for a second then, because I only just saw that at the corner, I thought you were asking for rent boys. I was going to whoa. Time and place, mate. My better half.
Good timing.
Hi, Alana.
Oh,
Hey, Lana.
totally agree, Martin. That was just.
If you think Alana's going to like get us out of this shit, she's more likely to say something that will get us.
And she's just joined the chat.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Lana. But no. There is too much going wrong now.
What was the giveaway, babe? The fact that you're like 20 feet from me and I'm talking. I'm not talking to myself, you know. No, well.
Mm.
I mean, you could be, but
See the sarcasm I'll have to put up with. I get it double. I get it off Gwendolyn as well.
you deserve for testing the fire fucking alarm at 3 a.m. every week.
Don't.
He's only done it twice this week.
And about 17 times in the past month.
Yeah, but the thing is, Lisa, okay, we'll talk about it. What's he going to get a job doing? He fucked up the job with eSig1 by doing a video
And opening his mouth.
when he's sponsored by that company. And rather than coming on and going, if you're doing a vape device like this, blah, 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 you can get it from eSig1. Other companies are available. Oh, no. The brainless muppet thinks we'll say Vaping 101 and we'll say other companies who are in competition with the company that you work for. We didn't think about this.
No, Alana figured it out. He even has experience for that one.
Pushing trolleys.
No, one more up.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, Vic couldn't do that. He's Nigel Farage, and he's a national front now.
Oh, Farage is, yeah.
Well, I know, Lee, but I mean, even I sometimes when I'm doing a show actually think what I'm saying. It's rare, but it does happen. He's meant to be a
I'm
professional.
referring to my T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know that little thing inside your head that tells you
It's
you
broken, mate. Yeah, mine's broken.
I don't have one.
I wouldn't trust him working at Greg's. I would not trust him.
Tainted sausage rolls.
He'd eat them all, wouldn't he?
No, you still have the outside.
Yeah, but I don't want it after him. No, I'll stop there.
A teleprompter. Gary, if I had a teleprompter, I'd forget to turn it on. We'd end up going over the same thing about 50 times.
No, the best part is between one of us, we'd hack into his teleprompter and start changing the words.
I think that might be Gwendolyn that would possibly do that.
Oh, could
With
you
a little
imagine?
With a little coercion from Alana.
Oh, I dread to think what he'd be saying if he had a teleprompter run by Gwendolyn.
Oh, you don't want to know.
On tonight's show, we go to the park.
I must start being more careful while driving. There's many of you who drive in the UK and, well, come to that, America, will appreciate that there are many, many morons on the road. And I tend to call
Right there.
people,
That's my problem with fucking drivers today, more than anything.
I tend to just turn around and call them a wanker or say, you fucking knobhead or whatever. Don't have to anymore. Driving along, somebody does something stupid, a voice from the back goes, you fucking wanker. It's like, oh, shit.
Yes, I can admit I've had that come from Lydia when she was much younger.
It's at that moment you forget that you are angry with the Muppet who's just pulled out in front of you and you just sit there and go, oh, shit, what have I done?
I have slowed down and next to the person next to me, I had my window down and shouted to them, "Get off your fucking phone!" To which they've gone, "Ooh."
William, you're gonna have to be more specific than that, there, buddy, because that's what I'm currently vaping on.
Hey, we can do the what has anybody seen and bought this week, and actually get an answer, can't we, Craig? Because you've been buying stuff.
No, I haven't.
Is this in case the other half is listening?
No, she's upstairs in bed. No, I haven't bought anything.
You
I
had
had some
cart
coils.
earlier, don't?
I had some fresh a new pack of coils for this.
If you say you won them all, on competitions,
and some pods for the Feeling AX that I've got, but that's it.
Gary, I think you're right. I think that's the
If
same
you
look
don't
he gets
believe
when the
me,
wife asks.
That's up to you.
William, that is the Plan B and TBL combo box. That's the anarchist version. And I've seen so many pictures of this
I did
mod
build that,
on
though.
Instagram and everything the last few days. Tell me you don't use your mods without telling me you don't use your mods. These things are still pristine. The paint's perfect. You know, that's where you're at on the paint already. If you actually use the mod, you know.
Yeah.
But that's got the high V2 on top.
God, they're a heavy mod though.
It's what I do. I weighed it with a set of batteries, and it was just shy of 2 pounds. And that's with no atomizer.
That is heavy when you consider your 2 batteries are only just over 4 ounces.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was under 2 pounds total, but it's still. I think base weight it was at least a pound and a half of just brass for the mod.
I haven't had a win for quite some time, Lisa.
Unless you ask his wife, and then he's had loads.
No, I haven't had a win for a while.
Well, here's the problem. All the shows that had winnings are gone now. Where's he going to say he won it from?
But he's got a secret cubbyhole in the boot of the car.
Yeah, you know that spot that the jack and the spare tire are supposed to be at? Well, there's no spare tire, but there's loads of baby.
There's nothing in the car anymore.
There's that look of, I think.
I hope.
No, I know there's nothing in the car anymore.
No, wait though.
Honest.
Wait, he might have actually cleaned it out, but he's going to pull a Dave, and in 6 months he's going to go. Like I said, the tire's going to go flat or something. Oh yeah, forgot about that.
No, everything's in the vape cupboard.
Dave is the only person I know, right? If Dave lives to be 280 years old, which he ain't far off, he's never going to have to buy anything vape related ever again.
Maybe juice, maybe
Juice. That's it.
Mm.
He's got that much crap in the bedroom, his other bedroom, that he hasn't fucking reviewed.
Well, what did he say in totes? Not what was sitting out in just totes. It was like 14 tubs of vape stuff. Probably at least a quarter unopened.
I know for a fact he has a Titan V1 still in the box, a Titan V2 still in the box, unreviewed. He has a Steam Crave Supreme version 2 in gold.
That the 5th anniversary one, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got loads of stuff. He's got
what I wouldn't do to go over to his house and just go through bins and find some of the old gems you'd never ever find again.
and I'm not going to say where Dave lives, but I would love to get into Dave's flat for one reason.
The three
And
of
it's
us will be
nothing
making
to
a
do-
road
Oh,
trip.
the camera batteries died. Yeah.
No, it's to do with in his bedroom, he has a cupboard with unused 386 and 486 motherboards and PCs. He's got about 7 386s, about another 10 486s, all sat there. These are before your time, Tyler.
I don't know enough about computers anymore since I did that back in high school, and I haven't done computers in years.
Old computer stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which now is worth a fucking fortune. The other thing I would be stealing out of Dave, if Dave, I'm robbing your house if I ever get over there. Is I would
Yeah,
steal.
Dave, you see that I'm coming over, you might want to lock the door, damn.
I'm stealing his Queen record collection. Honest to God, you want to see the original first pressings of Queen records that he's got. That
Oh,
man has
wow.
got a fucking shitload of money's worth.
I think three of us might end up having a road trip to see who can get there quicker.
Dave come back from making the coffee and his bedroom's clear. It's nothing. I don't remember.
And the sad part is, if you actually cleared all those bins out, he'd be like, well, shit, I ain't got to go through those now.
The thing is, when it comes to the 386 boards, I know how to parallel those 386s to give you 64-bit.
So do I. Yeah, and they work well.
They do.
You can make your own network NAS driver out of it. It wouldn't, believe me, Gary. He has got the original pressings of first releases. Like we're on about probably the third or fourth album off the pressing.
Those have got to be worth so much now.
He got some very rare, like mislabeled stuff.
Oh, that'll actually really fetch if you go to the right person. Misprints and defects from, oh yeah.
And if you ever see Dave wearing a band t-shirt, it will always be Queen.
Yeah.
He's a big Queen fan, is Dave. You see Dave with a Fred. Well, he did at one point have the Freddie Mercury moustache, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, he's got some quite cool stuff.
And then if we're gonna go raiding houses, I got to go through Mike's place for all the mechs.
But any Mike's got many mechs left to be honest.
I don't think he has that many
I
left.
He does that.
See, most of those are just his rare pieces, aren't they?
He's got a few rare pieces, but he put some more into a charity giveaway.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I mean I'm not a big fan of the Beatles, to be honest, Martin, but they're worth keeping purely for the financial side of it.
Well, that's like even stuff when I was a kid that I wish never gotten toys, stuff like that got thrown away over the years. If I saw some of the Hot Wheels and stuff like that never gotten opened, what stuff's worth now is ridiculous.
I do have a couple of, if we're on about vinyl, I have a couple of records that I know are worth money and I won't sell them. One of them is original number, I think it's number 73 or 74 of Friggin' in the Rigging, Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
I also have an original recording on EMI of Nevermind the Bollocks. Both of which are put away and I don't play anymore. Because they're worth quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Imagine a needle skipping across those.
I don't want to. Exactly, Lee. The thing is with vinyl is it's you're like me. I mean, you don't play it necessarily much, but you look how long it took us to get vinyl over the years. It's taken us years.
Oh, well, back in the day, we were looking at buying a couple of albums a month.
Yeah. I want another original pressing of the original Motorhead album.
Yeah.
Because I had the original, I've got the reissue, which is still it's good, but I want the original back because my first wife actually snapped that,
Yeah.
and I nearly did lose it with her and smash her in the face. That's a different story.
I'll say an ex of mine put a Stanley knife through a copy of the Lockham 12-inch live Motorhead, which was worth a lot of money.
This is true, Lisa.
And my original copy of Bomber.
It was a great album. Do you know what I love most about vinyl? And it isn't anything necessarily to do with the music. I like vinyl because when you get a CD, right, it's small. I mean, it's a good CD, it's acceptable, but I mean, it's a great cover, but if you get vinyl, it's just there's that you've got all the artwork on it. It's great. I love the artwork.
That's why CDs, when I can now, I buy the special editions that are a book.
They've started doing that again.
Yeah, at least then they're worth. You got something that you can read and is worth having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tell you, who does that a lot is Phil Campbell.
Yeah,
Phil Campbell, Bastard Sons. They do that a lot.
Yeah, I've got two of Phil's. Thing is, I've got things like Manic Street Preachers, and I've got some of the Fish reissues.
Oh, Somewhere in Time. That is a great cover. It's a great piece of artwork. I mean, he's a great artist. Well, that was Mark Riggs. That was
Martin Riggs. Derek Riggs.
Derek Riggs.
Somewhere in Time was his last album. They didn't kill off Eddie, but they didn't ask Derek to do any more drawings after Somewhere in Time.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Martin. We need to go back to like solid media rather than downloadable content.
Well, look at how many games now for these new systems. You can't even buy physical copies.
Well, PlayStation.
You have to buy,
If you buy a PS5, because I was going to get a PS5 at one point, it's what is it, 400 and something pounds for the DLC version, so you can only download content, right? But if you get the Blu-ray drive version, it's nearly 600. It's only a fucking Blu-ray drive.
Right.
I'm not paying an extra 200 quid for a Blu-ray drive when I can pick a Blu-ray drive up to go in a PC for 50 quid.
40, 50 quid.
Or even a normal Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Anybody would think Sony are on a piss take here, wouldn't they? Be a surprise.
Oh, hang on. They are.
Oh, Sony taking the piss. That's right. Yeah, it was Riggs' last cover. I thought it was. Yeah, that's an amazing piece of artwork. It really is.
Thing is, Derek Riggs did some. You've got to study his artwork because there are some real Easter eggs sat in there.
Oh, yeah. There is with I mean, a lot of the big bands are sort of yours, mine, and Lee's period of music, because we're, I suppose, sort of we bought probably more music than most people need to over the years. There are some fucking amazing album covers.
I'll tell you another one who was good for Easter eggs. Mark Wilkinson did the Marillion covers, and then he stayed with Fish. So he's done all the Fish covers.
Yeah.
The Easter eggs in the Fish solo stuff. Unbelievable, some of them. It's when you look at his first solo album where it's climbing up a pile of TVs. Every single TV's got a separate picture in it and can all be identified to give you a storyboard to the songs.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more thought going into stuff back then, you know.
Yeah, that's not just artwork. That is serious thought.
I thought you would have mentioned the other band that you were a big fan of.
Which particular one?
Well, the lead singer. You were a big fan of this.
Big fan of a lot of lead singers.
Ronnie James Dio.
Dio's artwork was a lot simpler, though. The actual artwork for Dio's stuff was simpler.
It was on certain things. The rainbow covers were good.
The rainbow covers, yeah. But Dio's solo work, the covers were a lot simpler.
They weren't on Elf.
No, they weren't on Elf.
There's a band rabbit hole to send Tyler down. Go and listen to some Elf.
Elf?
I don't think he'd even understand half of the songs that Elf did.
Ronnie James Dio. You must have heard of Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to kick him off the show if he said he didn't.
If I said no, Lee would willing to take my place. Go, nope, I will take my time every week.
Yeah. He had a band called Elf before he did Rainbow. Start in the 70s.
Yeah. Actually, late 60s, Elf started. And he got to know Richie Blackmore when Elf supported Deep Purple.
Gary, I agree with you. Music video of A Kind of Magic was pretty cool for the time, yes. But I remember music before we had music videos. When music was like the only time you really heard a band was
Whistle
either
Test. Old Grey Whistle Test. Top of the Pops. And some of the less common radio shows like John Peel.
Used to like John Peel.
Oh, you also got them on Radio Caroline and Radio Luxembourg.
Martin, you're going to get yourself timed out over here.
There's a problem with that. The only person that can time him out is me. And as he's picking on you, I don't care.
No, I can put him in timeout. I've got the authority.
I have the authority.
You might have the authority.
You respect my authority because cheese poops are fucking delicious.
You might have the authority, but you don't have the little spanner.
Yes, he does.
I do for YouTube.
He does have a spanner.
Matt, leave my spanner alone.
Some would say he is a spanner.
Does that mean I'm the only one that doesn't have a spanner?
Do you not have one, Bill?
No.
I think you are.
Well, we couldn't trust you.
Fear of you loosening the bolts in the background there, Bill.
I can't see how I probably missed it. I'll have to give you a spanner at some point.
No, the sad part is we
Oh, I
all
also
missed, and it's
found
been
it-
over a year on this show.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Talking of music videos as well, I found out today that it was Aardman Animation that did Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer, the video. I didn't know that.
It was, and it was directed by Godley and Cream.
That was a weird video, that wasn't it?
Hmm.
What, the dancing oven-ready chicken? But Peter Gabriel liked to do weird stuff.
Yeah.
He's a definitely he's a talented man,
Yeah,
but he's very out there. He's definitely very, very out there, bless him. Hey, you see,
Melissa, not someone, all of them.
You see-
All of them collectively.
I have Mel's support on this. Oh.
Yeah, I bet you give me 2 seconds to mess with Lana. She'll tell me to smack you in the head herself. It's okay.
and then of course you've got the most emulated rock video ever. Robert Palmer's "Addicted to Love."
Yeah.
You should have called that "Addicted to Drugs." I'd never get. He was good at what he did, but my God, he was.
He was a deceptively good guitarist.
He was, but he was a fucked up little character, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. What do you expect? He's from Scarborough. You'd be fucked up if you were born in Scarborough.
So Lisa, they were like supposed to be ready to eat cooked fillets and they were completely frozen.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh yes, hot for teacher. Oh yeah, I've just got to go off a minute.
Well,
I'd say Van Halen made a few good videos.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
But if you want a really weird one though, you just watch Dave Lee Roth's California Girls.
Oh God.
That actually turned Hot for Teacher up to 12.
It did. I'm surprised he got away with it. Let's put it that way.
I don't think he did in America. I think they had to cut it for America.
Martin, I 100% agree with you about Wes Borland. Wes Borland, absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal guitarist. Phenomenally good, not just as a guitarist, but what he did sort of artistically with the music. He was brilliant. The problem was the dipstick who was in control, well, Fred Durst. I hate Fred Durst. I hate
Burn
that
Man
guy.
himself.
He comes under the same heading as, for me, Fred Durst comes under the same heading as people like Blackie Lawless of Wasp.
Yeah.
Let me think, who else?
Probably Simmons.
Any of Kiss. any of Kiss as a band. Kiss as a band are so untalented.
Somebody at work today was going on. Oh, you should hear. I'm listening to this Kiss album. I said, you're listening to what?
I have listened to Kiss album, thank you. I heard it once. I don't need to hear it again.
After the blood was seeped up out of your ear canals from the cotton, you're all right.
Here is a proof of Kiss. There were 3 people at Kiss, at Monsters of Rock, when Kiss were playing. Me, Bill, and Lee. All 3 of us fell asleep. What does that tell you about Kiss?
Jeez.
They're shit.
I fell asleep with my head virtually in a speaker.
It's not, Gary, I haven't got an issue if a band up to a point uses backing tracks, okay? There are
the issue.
There are circumstances where sometimes you need to do that. Okay? Not an issue. The issue I have with Kiss is they are untalented. They're arrogant. They think they invented, and fucking, they've said this, they think they invented metal. No, you didn't invent
No, they
metal.
didn't.
You have nothing to do with inventing metal. There are a couple of American bands I can think of that were sort of at the start of it.
Oh, say, and they claim they invented shock rock. Sorry, Alice Cooper, and before that, Crazy World of Arthur Brown.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Brown invented shock rock, mate. End of. As for, if you want to talk about people who invented metal, you've got to go back to Steppenwolf, Carmine Apiece, true like bands that led into metal. It was that period. It was those guys, not fucking Kiss.
No, you're right, Lisa. At best.
And if you want glam rock, there's other bands out there that are better.
I don't think of a lot of much better glam bands.
I'll tell you a band who are definitely glam rock, okay? But they're a good band, quite a good band if you ever get to see them live. And that's Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
I could see that.
It's that, Martin, it's that thing when people say, who invented heavy metal? You know, people say Lemmy was heavy metal. No, Lemmy was rock and roll.
He was rock and roll.
Okay. It's that thing of they've got to have a like somewhere to hang their, hang the coat on the hook type thing.
Go back 1968.
MC5, fucking hell, their albums. I've got MC5. Blue Cheer.
MC5, go back to 68, 69. Early Purple, Black Sabbath. Without those guys, you wouldn't have metal. Definitely wouldn't have it without Sabbath.
I tell you, somebody could be linked to metal and you wouldn't think of them as metal. T-Rex.
Yeah.
Mark that. They were.
Bolan wrote some good rock songs.
Yeah.
Another one that wrote, when you heard their own songs, The Sweet.
The Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I did it the other day. Ballroom Blitz came on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt sang the entire song in the Maclads version, not the Sweet version.
Which was about a fight that broke out in the Grand Hall in Kilmarnock.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a man who had a wasted talent, Brian Connolly. That's a sweet.
Terrible.
Terrible shame, that.
He went downhill fast after that. After he was set upon by 4 lads outside a club in Birmingham.
Yeah.
In 74.
Yeah. You could even put, do you know that there's so many people that were influential. And Martin, I agree with you. Uriah Heep. I'm a big Uriah Heep fan. Love Uriah Heep.
Yeah. But
There's
they
even,
were, but in the early days, they were space rock.
Hawkwind.
Yeah, but Hawkwind and Uriah Heep were both space rock.
Oh, what's Gary done now? What do I think of the Ramones? I love the Ramones. Gary, the Ramones weren't meant to be musically brilliant music. They weren't meant to be.
They were a garage band.
They were
That's
pure,
all they claimed
simple,
to be.
pure and simple punk rock, and just having fun. That simple.
Yeah. Everybody makes the mistake of forgetting American punk was the garage bands.
Yeah.
They practiced in the garage, and a lot of them, their first gigs were they opened the garage doors.
Between for me, between the Ramones and say the MC5, I'd always go with the MC5. I think MC5 were a better band.
Yeah.
And some of the stories between the MC5 band, oh my fucking God. God, they were fucking arseholes at times. Yeah, the Ramones were definitely simple, just simple. There's nothing complicated about the Ramones. There never was meant to be anything.
I say the Ramones were simple and sung with a sneer.
Yes, Lee.
Yeah.
We're probably one of my favourite guitarists of all time. Dr. Feelgood.
The lunatic marching backwards and forwards.
The Clockwork Mouse himself. They had so much fucking attitude, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You had a lead singer who actually looked like if he came up to you in a pub would probably stab you. You had a guitarist who looked like he'd done way too much speed and probably had, who used to be a teacher before he took that job.
I was going to say, oh, no. Didn't look like he'd done way too much speed. He'd done way too much speed.
Well, he admitted that later in life.
Another one. Sensational Alex Harvey Band. Guitarist at a Sensational Alex Harvey Band, so underrated.
Yeah. Oh, you've got me thinking of another band now, and I can't think of the name of it. I can see the lead singer, and I can't think the name of the band. Oh, fuck. It's good old bollocks. The Alex Harvey Band, yeah, I totally agree with. Alex Harvey was another raving fucking lunatic. Nazareth were a great band.
Nazareth.
I guess. State break. Be right back.
All right, bud. Dr. Feelgood, without a doubt, their first few albums were just great albums. They were bluesy rock, what you'd call pub rock, if you want to, whatever. They were just great music. I mean, Lee Barillo was only, I think he was only 40, his mid-40s, I think, when he died.
Wasn't that old? No.
South African originally. Ian Dury, possibly the greatest English lyricist in music.
Mhm.
Ian Dury was a wordsmith.
Who didn't give a toss.
Oh, fuck no,
Yeah.
did he? Yeah. But why should he? He was, you know, his entire life he'd been told, because he had polio, he was told he'd never be anything, he'd never do anything. And eventually Ian just went, fuck it, I don't give a fuck, I'm just going to be an absolute bastard. So he was.
He wrote the song that nearly got him banned from everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Spasticus Autisticus.
Which, after, bless him, after he'd gone, they then use it for the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Which I think was a bit insulting to him.
So do I.
Because that song, as he said to the BBC and to everybody, they banned him for that song. And yet, what was wrong with it? What he was saying in that song was, just get up, stand up, do what you can and get on with it. Don't be put down by your disabilities.
Yeah.
Danny Filth, yeah, Danny's brilliant.
Danny's a good lyricist, yeah.
What are you on about now, Gary? Gary Moore, yeah. Gary Moore.
Yeah.
Was, yeah, Phil, the Black Rose. If you're going through Irish musicians, Gary, and if you put Bono in here, I will ban you. You will be banned forever. Because even the Irish don't like Bono. The man is a tool bag. The whole of U2 are just disgusting to me. He did it the other day in an interview, didn't he? He went on something in an interview and was waffling on about charity and helping people and how we should all help everybody. It's like, the amount of money you've made, why don't you put your hand in your pocket and help people? Why don't you get off your fucking ass? The same goes for Bob Geldof as well. Why don't you fucking put your hand in your pocket, you cunt? There's some good musicians who they will help people. Not that many people know it. Shane McGowan used to give a lot of money to charity to help people because that's the sort of man Shane was.
So another man who gave a lot to charity was Midge Ure.
Yeah.
To the point where he bankrupted himself twice.
It's a great story about Shane McGowan when he was living in London. Shane McGowan walking back 3 o'clock in the morning through London, okay, down the embankment.
How the hell was he walking at 3 o'clock?
No, Shane could still walk when he'd be drinking for days, so that wasn't a problem for Shane. Walking along and he sees this old tramp at the side of the road who had no shoes on. So Shane stops, takes off his shoes and gave this bloke his shoes and socks, and Shane walked home in the snow barefoot. Didn't tell anybody. The only reason the story came out was from somebody else in the band.
Oh, I know about Chubby Brown because I used to drink with him.
People, I've got nothing against Chubby. I get people don't like Chubby's humour because for some people what he says is a bit over the top, or.
But it's when you see the other side of Chubby Brown when he's out as Royston. with his rock and roll bands.
The thing is, right, and it annoys me, if you go to see Chubby Brown, right, and I have done, if you go to see him live, right, expect to be like, bad
Offended,
language
insulted.
and all the rest of it. And if you get up for a go for a piss, you're going to get some insult as you walk past him and all the rest of it. That's Chubbs. But people go and see him and then come out of it and then start bitching and moaning about it. Well, you know what he's like. Just don't
Even
go.
says, there's even warnings. This is an adult show. If you're sensitive, don't fucking book the tickets.
People just need to learn to have a sense of humour. There are limits, obviously. There are certain things that you shouldn't really say, some things that are over the top, that are really offensive.
I mean, Chubby has pushed the limits occasionally.
One being the Bradford fire. That's all I'm going to say. That was definitely a bit.
The thing is, I've saw him though with his rock and roll band. He's a bloody good drummer.
He is, yeah. I mean, I think Chubbs is coming to the end of his career, definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly, Martin. I'm Billy Connolly for me. I'm a big Billy Connolly fan. Love Billy Connolly.
That's very true, Gary. But for rock and roll, he plays drums and sings.
Thing is, like, Billy Connolly doesn't necessarily do the jokes. He doesn't do, oh, man walks into a pub, blah blah blah. It's not.
No, he does. He's situational comedy. He does it.
It's a story, and he'll start off with a story. Billy Connolly, and how he does it, I don't know. He'll start off
very
on a
well
story,
done.
and he'll get halfway through it, and then he'll go off on something else, and he's going waffling for half hour or 10 minutes on that, and he comes back to the story and finishes the story off that he was on about.
Oh, what, Bobby?
Bobby Thompson.
I'll be back in a minute. He wants me to say goodnight to him.
Yeah, no worries, bud.
Yeah, all right. There's what, Bobby?
Was that little Bobby Thompson?
That's the one.
Yeah, he's funny as fucking. Of course, you wouldn't be allowed that now, would you? Because Bobby Thompson, I mean, most of his comedy was about the wife and about her mother-in-law and about.
Another one that people forget about now. Mike Harding.
Yeah.
Very clever man.
Well, it was like Les Dawson, wasn't it? When Les Dawson used to do the mother-in-law jokes and he stopped doing them, and there was an uproar, and his mother-in-law was pissed off with him because he'd stopped doing the mother-in-law jokes. Because it's people need to get over this fucking thing. If somebody's a fat bastard and they fall over, it's funny. Okay? You two ways of looking at it. You can cry about it or you can laugh at it.
It's true.
And most of the time, the guy that falls over is laughing about it.
I said we laughed like a dream when Matt fell over the other day.
Bastards.
I missed Matt falling over? Come on.
Matt, I had Matt and Craig trying to make me pour VG everywhere out of a 5-gallon tub while I'm mixing e-liquid.
Brendan Grace. Oh my God, that man is fucking brilliant, Brendan. He's yeah, I've seen it. He is one funny man. Oh, bless him. He was one funny man. He really was. And it's typical Irish humour. That it's Irish humour tends to be very much sort of self-deprecating. It's about sort of taking the piss out.
You guys keep going because I'm just adding all these to my YouTube playlist so I can watch all these comedians later.
It is though. It is, Martin. there is nothing wrong, okay? We're laughing at somebody because they're skinny or because they're short or because they're tall or because they're fat or, why get offended by it? You can always pick fault with somebody else with a joke. You can always laugh at somebody else. Like the Irish, you can always take the piss out of the Irish, okay? Everybody takes a piss out of the Irish, including the Irish. The Irish take the
Especially
piss
the
out of the
Irish.
Irish
Yeah.
more than anybody. The Scottish, it's always been a standing joke that every Scot has got like long pockets and short arms. Well, point proven right there. It's a standard thing. And the Scottish sense of humour definitely goes back to like a lot of it goes on in like places like Glasgow.
It goes back to the old
Because it's a tough place, so people use comedy.
Humor to get through things. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yep, you Yorkshire people are all tight-assed.
What argue?
I've never really heard many jokes about Mancunians, to be honest. Not that I remember, anyway.
Yeah, but they're eminently forgettable.
What Mancunians?
Well,
I'm just insulted. I don't know. Most Yorkshire people have a good sense of humour. Really do. It's always a standing joke, the price of anything is always how much.
Yeah, copper wire was invented by two Yorkshiremen fighting over halfpenny.
Yep. I think you're right, Martin. I think American comedy, there were some really funny American comedians at one time.
comedy isn't the same way it used to be, though. Ever since all this political correct, I'm gonna offend people crap came out, you've got one or two that'll break that and they'll go past it, but even they aren't that great anymore.
Bill Burr's pretty funny because he don't really give a shit.
He's still going.
The last great American comedian was Bill Hicks.
Oh, yeah.
He genuinely did not give a toss.
I'll tell you an American comedian who's very funny, but he's very offensive when he gets going. It's Joey Diaz.
Oh yeah, Diaz goes beyond and past. Like, given I've seen Bert Kreischer, live. That was a good show. It was. What's the other guy that he always does the shows with? Tom Segura. I've never seen him live, but he's decently funny depending on which set he's doing. But there's not.
Well, Joey Diaz is the one who got Joe Rogan into comedy.
Oh yeah. Given Diaz has been through an interesting life, we'll put it that way.
Oh yeah.
I love watching the podcast he does. The one he pulls out a bag. He goes, these are called the Stars of Death. Okay. He goes, they're, I can't remember what he said, like 500 milligram gummies or something like that. He grabs 3 out of the pack and just downs them. Everyone's he's like, that's a snack. You don't know who you're messing with.
Oh, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Oh.
He's awake.
Well, political correctness has gone out the window. Mike's arrived.
Sharp knives and offensive comments.
Yep. Comedy has been ruined by people who take offence at the slightest thing.
Do you know what offends me the most about it? Is they're offended on behalf of other people.
Other people.
that they don't know.
I'm offended.
It's if it was like a personal friend and you were taking the piss out of that specific person, okay, maybe. Depending how far you go with it, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you're just as a general statement, this ethnic group, community, whatever the fuck you decide to pick, and you insert joke here, okay, they probably said the same thing about themselves as a joke. So
Exactly, Martin. And also, you take offence. It's not given. If you're going to take offence at something somebody says, that's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
well, especially if it's out of context, you know.
Somebody's always the butt of a joke, and it's usually Tyler.
I mean, either that or Matt's inflatable friends. So you know.
Comedy.
We're not going back to movie recommendations, Matt.
Oh,
no, you've already scrubbed me enough for the day for movie recommendations.
You want Matt's movie recommendations for the day? Oh.
No, you can't recommend that one again.
Cannibal Holocaust?
As I say, is everybody ready for Matt's TED Talk on movies?
Hey, I can talk about movies if you want.
I commented on a post that had come up on my Facebook the other day. Best films with prisons. I couldn't help myself. Busted Babies Behind Bars. I couldn't help myself.
See, Gary, Ron White was funny years ago. Now he's the edge that he had that made his comedy funny, I feel like has kind of calmed down a lot. Given he's got to be fucking his 70s by now.
That's exactly it, Martin. If you're gonna dish jokes out, okay, take the piss out of people, you've got to be prepared that people will give it back. End of that. They will. I don't have an issue with that.
Well, at the same time, Matt, we've all made a unspoken agreement, basically. If anybody goes too far, what do you say? Hey, that was too far. Cool, not a problem. We won't cross that line, and we go on to something else. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, like my redneck jokes?
Yeah, but 20 solid minutes of them.
I was enjoying myself.
Gary, this is horrible to say it this way. Ron White was funnier when he always had a drink in his hand. I don't know why, but the way his personality worked, he was funnier like that.
You say about that, another one who was funnier with a drink. Dave Allen.
Oh. Do you know what?
The only problem was he kept getting himself banned off TV.
For me, the thing was, the issue with Dave Allen, Dave Allen came from the south of Ireland, okay? And he kept doing jokes about the Catholic Church. Like the Archbishop with his stick, who the nuns walk in with the stockings on. Right. I don't see. You're not telling me that an archbishop who sees somebody who's fit as fuck in stockings and suspenders wouldn't look and go, Of course he fucking does.
At least in his own head, yeah.
It's observational humour. Oh, Jethro. Oh my God, that man. I saw Jethro live before he.
That's a name I've never heard.
Oh,
Oh,
you
Jeff
probably
was brilliant.
wouldn't
Hmm.
understand him.
You wouldn't understand a word he said.
I was
Jen-
saying, is it the accent or is it what he's talking about? I'm assuming the
No,
accent.
because it is the way he talks.
But
Yeah.
But he was
just
such a funny
search
man.
on YouTube, Deep Dish Dyke.
I don't want that in my search history, Craig.
I know exactly what he's on about.
Jethro Deep Dish Dyke.
He was one of the funniest men you would ever hear. Honest to God, he was best mates of Jim Davidson, who's
Yeah.
another very funny comic.
All right, I'll look it up because I've got 4 people at least now telling me I've got to see this.
Yeah, he's a very funny man, and some of the stories he does. Yeah.
Oh, some of his stories are.
And you can tell a lot of them because it's Cornwall and Cornish part of the world. Not that you've ever been there, Tyler, but the Cornish people are sort of, they're very much, there is a little bit of
Backwards.
that. They're a bit like that, especially the farmer side of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A proper Cornishman, you wouldn't understand them. They're fucking.
You know, I know I haven't seen his comedy, but he looks familiar.
He is very.
I had to have seen a clip or something somewhere, you know.
They're other good comedians. Oh God, Mike Reed.
He was in his day, yeah.
Mike Reed when he was in his prime.
I mean, going more recent, have you seen Josh Blue?
No.
He has palsy.
Yeah.
And his whole bit for the most part is about him having palsy and, you know, this and that. Like the one bit he did, he got selected to be in the Special Olympics. He said, imagine 10 guys with palsy walking through the store, you know, through the mall or whatever. It's like you think the zombie apocalypse came into real life. Said the worst one was, mind you, like I said, full case of palsy, so he's got one hand is crooked, he's got the spasms and everything, right? He said he happened to go to the mall one day, and there was another guy with palsy at the mall, about 15, 20 feet ahead of him walking through the mall. Everyone thought he was making fun of the guy and mimicking his movements. He's getting screamed at. How dare you? How dare you make fun of that man who has, he's like, I can't control it. Great comedian. Hilarious guy.
I'll have to look him up. Yeah, Devon Cornwall it's a nice part of the world. I wouldn't
and
recommend.
the webtoes are usually Tiverton or Totnes.
Yeah, there's a lot of inbreeding around there.
Actually, there is an American female comedian that I've been watching a bit of. She's not scared to offend people. She's called
which one?
Taylor Tomlinson.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yep. She's good.
Yeah. She's not afraid of offending people.
Well, and that's what it takes in comedy these days to even keep up, because like I said, the whole I don't want to offend so and so and da da da. It got ridiculous.
There's been so many comedians just lately that have got done for fucking anti-Semitic jokes, black jokes. I don't get why so many black people have such a chip on their shoulder. I don't. I just don't get it. It's like we said this with Rajan about, you know, and it was Rajan who came out with it about the Brown National Party. Most Indian people, and I grew up around a lot of Indian people and Sikh Indian people, really, really nice, lovely people, the Sikhs. they're more pro-English than most fucking English white people. They really are. Don't know if Rajan's still in, but you know, they're far. Well, they've got a great sense of humour. Although, yeah, Love Thy Neighbour was great. If you want to offend a Sikh Indian person, call them a Pakistani. And
I
then see
wouldn't
what.
recommend it.
There's one for you, Tyler. Try that.
Yeah, I'm good.
When you get out of
Mm.
oh, fucking hell, that is the quickest way to offend somebody. That's a big no-no with the Indian people.
Melissa, I just got your message. You might want to be careful trying to go for your walking and listen to SH at the same time. You might walk into a pole.
Mm.
Oh God, Lisa sent me a link.
Because, Gary, it's simple. Jim Davidson doesn't do talkie anymore because no black people talk like Jamaican black people anymore. They all talk like gangster rappers. When I was growing up and when Jim Davidson was younger, black people were black, West Indian, Jamaican. They talked in a Jamaican accent or a West Indian accent. So the Chalky character made sense.
Mm-hmm.
People I grew up around were proper black Jamaicans. Now all black people seem to talk, or a lot, seem to talk like gangster rappers. I don't know why. They've all turned into,
Matt, come
50
Come over here. Come over here. I'll take you into the northern side of the state. It ain't just that ethnicity that talks like that.
Oh
No,
yeah, they can, Martin. They really can. The Sikh people really have got a great sense of humour. You know, they don't care. They can have a right laugh with you. Jimmy Jones, the old London comic. Bless him. Got to be nearly 90 now, Jimmy.
I mean, even comedians that I was listening to when I was growing up are getting up in age. Like, I think Foxworthy's at least in his 50s or 60s now.
Exactly, Mike. It's all that fam. I ain't your fucking fam. Fuck off with your fucking gangstery wannabe shit.
No, they use more explicit words over here.
Yeah, starting with an N.
Mm.
Yeah,
But you better pronounce it properly or you're in trouble.
I'll pronounce it
17
how I
or
like
18.
it.
Yeah, cheers, son. Fuck off. When they get off the bus. Yeah, cheers, lad. Fuck off.
So you probably get that a lot, don't you, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where all this came from. The safe bro and in it, and
I mean, I can tell you where the safe came from, because the same thing that's over here. Because it started when I was getting out of that lifestyle. We'll put it that way. It's simply watch your back, whether it's people on the street or the police or whatever. It's simply watch your back and don't end up dead tomorrow.
I was going to say it started in American prisons, though, didn't it?
Probably, honestly.
What it did with the trouser thing. You know the trouser thing of
Yeah.
wearing trousers lower down.
Dude, that's right. Don't get me wrong. I was that mentality in high school. You guys have seen the pictures. You know it's true.
You do know that why people wear the trousers.
I don't understand. Oh, anybody that wears them like that, how do you walk with your pants a foot and a half below your waistline, if not more? When your pants are below your knees, something is wrong.
In prison, wearing your trousers like that, where it's hanging below your ass, it means when you're in prison, it means you are up for taking it.
And see, it's a whole community thing in the streets now.
I mean, if that's the way you swing and you're gay, that's fine. Okay, no problem. But why
Thank
do
you,
you
Gary.
want to
That's what
go
you said.
around advertising? What's next? Neon sign saying, "I take it up the arse. I do anal." What the fuck is wrong with you morons? That's the one, Lee. Pull your trolleys up.
Yeah, never understood that. I know what it became, but I don't think it started out that way.
I don't think it did it. I think it's sort of a. It's just fucked up to me. It don't make sense.
The rabbit hole that Gary has just sent me down. He sent me a link to a site that has almost all old British comedians.
Oh God.
There's a lot of them.
Mm.
Trust me, there are a lot. We used to have a show called Comedians that had 6 comedians a week.
Mick Miller, Frank Carson.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't, I can't say they were comedians. They're more improv actors, but there was Whose Line Is It Anyway? That was great.
Yeah, there's still that in this country.
Yeah, we had Whose Line. Although I've watched the American version, and the American version is different.
See, I've never seen your version of it.
I wondered when that name was going to appear. Good old Charlie Williams, bless him. Charlie Williams was, without a doubt, one of the funniest comics going, because he was black in the 70s and before.
Oh, he didn't change?
No,
Okay.
he didn't change.
No, it was always black.
He wasn't Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Charlie grew up in Yorkshire.
He grew up just outside Barnsley.
as a black man at a time
And
when
you said in the 70s?
Well, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he was growing up obviously before that. You know.
Well, yeah, but that's
So the
time
abuse
period plus location equals yeah.
and the old flower. And he just spun it on its head with people. He just took people's racism, spun it back to them.
Mike, I didn't think about that one. Fluffy was, when he actually was still touring full time, that's actually a good comedian. I like his work.
Yeah, Charlie was absolutely he was a master at like fucking people up.
Oh,
While being a very, very, very nice bloke. A really nice guy. That's what was brilliant about him.
not long after my dad had died, we went to stop in Brid for a couple of weeks with my uncle. And we went to see Charlie Williams. Now, because of the way my dad had been, my mum had changed her accent to be very Middle English. And she made the mistake of speaking when Charlie Williams was telling a joke. He ripped her to shreds for being posh.
What did I just do there?
Yeah, he
absolutely
ripped her to shreds, but
all the blue collar guys were actually decent, Melissa. Just depending on which set they did and what type of comedy you really wanted to hear.
The thing is, most of this humor in this country is
Mike's just broke me.
I'm gonna need a minute myself.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mike. Mike's had a
All right,
sleep.
pause for Mike right there. That I'll give you that one. That was a good one, man.
Yeah. I'll tell her when I see her.
I want her response, Bill.
I'll get her
don't.
next time she's here. I'll get her in a chat with Matt.
Oh, she's fucking
He can
brilliant.
tell her.
Oh, thanks. She's fucking. She's hilarious, bless her. She is. She's lovely.
But
So tangent, because Lisa just got my head going that way. Anybody that actually watches TikTok on a semi-regular basis, right? Who has seen this Yeti Blogs AI generated stuff that has showed up the last like 2 days?
no.
He said TikTok. I'm off for a wee while he's talking about
Dude.
TikTok.
They're some of the dumbest things you could ever imagine. But imagine the most like American redneck, but it's like Bigfoot or the Yeti out in the woods finding survivors, beer, and leftovers. If AI was ever going to be used for anything and I could tolerate it being used for anything, this would be what it would be because it's just stupid comedy. I mean, you literally, there's one Bigfoot's running through the forest and all you hear is somebody chasing me goes, "You can't shoot me. I'm not black enough." You said what? Like, like they said, they're stupid, but they're actually funny.
But no, this. I mean, thing is, British comedy group was all developed in the working men's clubs.
Yeah.
Well, like Bill, when you first sent me Bottom, and I started watching those, I had to. I'm not gonna lie, I had to watch them a few times, partly because of the way the dialect is, and you have to kind of decipher certain things if you're not used to how they talk. But at the same time, the British humor is very much more. It's direct, but it's direct in a way of like you got references to this and this and this, and if you don't know them, you're not going to get the humor. You know,
I mean,
given a guy going into a porta potty and exploding with a bird, it's good comedy.
yeah. But it's even funnier when you realise that they wouldn't want to be anywhere near somewhere like that. And it explodes on them.
Yeah.
It's like the one where he's got the bottle of bleach, the Chernobyl foam, blows up the toilet. What's it say in the bottle? What's it leave? The germs. That was a fuck up.
Dare I ask what the fuck you lot are waffling about?
Bottom. When he got the Chernobyl foam out, the bleach for the toilet. What's it leave? The germs. It's like,
You know, I actually haven't watched those for a while. I need to see if I still have those saved.
Have you read the script, Bill?
yes.
Oh, we've got a script this time.
What? We've got a plot? Oh, fuck.
No, Martin, you're right, though. If you look at almost all American comedy, it's very blatant and obvious and, you know, all that. And as soon as an American you watch British comedy, you do have to sit there and either watch it more than once or, I mean, you have to actually think. And that's, for an American, you get the headaches. So.
The only comical thing you've got at the minute is a Trump.
Mm.
No, the comical part is him and his girlfriend fighting.
Oh, Elon.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, wasn't it all he said was he thinks he was on Epstein's list?
No, he said he knows he was on the list. Wouldn't say what for. And then past that, what did he say? The big beautiful bill that Trump's trying to pass, which basically, I don't know every nook and cranny of the bill, but okay, bottom 10% get overtaxed, top 10% get nothing and get to keep all their money. Makes sense, right? For that business style outlook. But even Musk said this is stupid and you're going to bankrupt the nation doing it.
President fart. So if he goes out in the rain, does that make him a wet fart?
No, it makes him a queef.
You said it, mate.
Observational there, Matt. Observational.
The problem is you can't argue against it.
Mm.
And either way, a fish market's involved. So,
Yeah, I mean, like Lisa just said, it is obvious that he was going to. Of course, and if anybody has been round with younger ladies, we shall say, it's Trump.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. To make the comments the man has made about his own daughter, enough said.
Well, who did he make the comment about grabbing her by the fanny?
It wasn't.
Yeah, but don't forget
Yeah.
Fanny's an arse.
I was gonna. No, I know. That's what I said. That wasn't what he was talking about grabbing.
Well, here, a fanny is something else. It's the front bit.
Front bit.
Okay, so you're right.
If you're going, I mean,
No, I'm not, I can't remember offhand who that was, but no, I remember that comment.
That was one of the interns.
yeah.
So she was 50 years younger than Trump. Then you're in dangerous ground, aren't you?
He'll pardon himself. It's fine.
I have no
Ooh.
doubt. I have no doubt in my mind. Now that's suspicious. Since we've been talking about Trump, the viewing figures dropped, went down from 10 straight down to 7, and then coming back up. And that's suspicious. Hello, Donald.
Hello, Donald.
You.
I was gonna say, Bill, don't move the hair. You make him jealous.
You giant cheesy what's it?
This wig cost me $2 million. Get your money back.
Well, it didn't cost him 2 million. It cost the rest of America 2 million.
Well, look how much they said he spent going to play golf in the first 6 months of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he nearly got shot doing that.
It's a shame.
I need to train the people who was trying to shoot him better.
Well, that's what happens when you employ special services.
I hope that fucking piece of shit bike blows up.
Thank you, Gary. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the problem with that is you put thong and Trump in the same sentence. 2 words that should never go in the same sentence.
Hey, we can all say we didn't see it, but we all saw the AI video of him and Musk with the toe licking. So we've all been scarred for life.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Refresher for you.
No, thank you.
I actually quite liked Ali the Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is a very clever man, very intelligent man,
Mhm.
because he uses comedy to pull people to pieces.
Yeah.
That's what people need to. Sacha Baron Cohen isn't just a comedian. He uses it to like rip people to bits, like he did with certain, like Trump.
The Dictator's quite a good film as well.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, The Dictator's good.
Ali G
Bit
film.
of the Rebel Base. It's quite funny at the end where she's Jewish. And he's actually Jewish, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, if you're going to do that, I mean, proper 9-iron, grenade, lob it, you're all right.
The trouble is, how do you top some of Trump's jokes? It's very
What,
difficult.
When he makes public appearances?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish he'd stop doing that.
Yeah, but let's face it, his speeches to America, it's very hard to be funnier than those speeches.
Well, and you know how he loves using social media and getting his opinions out there. His buddy decides to tell him that all of his ideas are stupid out of nowhere, and nothing was said anywhere.
Yeah.
Trump is just, yeah. He's not worth talking about half the time, to be honest. Only when it affects things of national importance. And a bit like Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer, the only reason I talk about Keir Starmer is because of the stuff he's fucking up.
When it affects everybody, whether it's on small levels or large. I mean, look at Bill trying to get his medications and stuff. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. The thing is, we know for a fact that Starmer is out for the disabled.
Oh, yeah.
He's potentially going to be one of the most dangerous people we've ever had.
I don't think there's any potentially about it. I think he's proven it. Absolutely.
Because he's going against all of the disabled rights written into our laws.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, that is too accurate for the conversation.
I think that unfortunately he's already a very dangerous man.
Yeah.
I would.
Well, look at that.
Me...
Me too. Even late, we ended up getting a full show out today.
Yeah.
Thank you to our lovely streaming platform for the assistance.
Assistance? If you're trying to get me to rant about fucking... Do your fucking goodbyes, Knob Nut Rot.
Well, I assume with the way you phrase that, you were speaking to me. Okay.
Well, yeah, we shall return next week, probably at the usual time. Who knows?
So we would do our best as always. But, yep, we may have been late this week, guys, but we appreciate everybody still showing up and being here for chat and everything. As always, you guys need us, you know where we are. We're not going anywhere, so. But yeah, anybody past that wants to give an idea for a show, if you have anything you actually want to bring up and talk about,
Nice one, Mel.
Yeah, it always helps out. Craig, say goodbyes, buddy.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. We will be back again, probably at the usual time. Hope everyone has a good week. Take care of yourselves. And I shall pass it on to Bill.
Cheers, Craig. No, it's been a good show. I know we were very late today, but that wasn't our fault.
It was Matt's.
Yeah, it was all my fault, apparently.
Got
No,
stuck
it
in the
wasn't.
loo, you know.
No, I know what the problem's
No.
been. It wasn't Matt's
Yeah.
either. This
No.
was YouTube playing silly buggers. Hope
was-
everybody has a good week. Group's there if you need us. You can always get hold of one of us if you need to talk. And have a good week. Over to you, Matt.
Hold on, I'm yawning. All right. Yeah, good show. Mel just put in 6,159 steps today. Well done, Mel. Nice
Yeah.
one. Keep it up. You're doing well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, same as always. If you want to contact us, you know how. Mel, if you need any help with what we said about, you're more than welcome. And it can be done privately or whatever. Anyway, if you want to. And it won't go any further, I assure you.
Definitely.
Hopefully back to normal time next week, presuming Streamlab doesn't decide to have another fit, throw a wobbly, and something falls off. Because it's great at doing stuff like that, but it was this week. So, as I've had about half an hour's sleep total in the past 24 hours, I might even think about trying to get some sleep tonight. But we will be back.
I'll give you
About it.
Yeah,
I'll give you one more
about it.
opportunity to take the piss out of me before the show ends, Matt. I should be here on time next week, but there is a chance I'm going out of state for a Jeep event.
Anything to do with rednecks?
You're gonna
Well,
get
it's a
shown
Jeep
how to
event, so
repair them.
it's literally in West Virginia with like a few hundred Jeeps. So,
West
Ooh.
Virginia.
or no, sorry, this one's in PA.
You're going fucking full redneck, aren't you?
I'm going back to the home country anyway, but I
You're
will
going
try
to
to be
check
back
it.
in time. I will try to be back in time next week with the show, guys.
No
I will
worries,
give
mate.
updates when I have it.
He's going to check it still. That's what he's off to do.
Well, I have to be mobile
We're
mechanics
going
in
for
case anything
parts.
breaks down on the way back.
It's a good question, Lee. Are you allowed out of state? You will do if Donald finds out.
So if I don't
Right.
come back next week, I'll see you guys in like 6 to 18 months.
He'd be in a black ops prison in Guantanamo.
I was saying Saudi Arabia. Anyway,
No, it's
Yeah,
Libya.
it's got to be
Libya
warm.
now.
Yeah, it's Libya. Although there is talk. I was watching a program. I'll just say this quickly before we go. I was watching a program last night, and they were on about the amount of underground facilities being made in America. Deep underground facilities, and there's proof of it.
Nuclear hardened. Just in case.
I wonder where.
Just in case.
Ah.
Trump is going to be Vladimir. He's going to be setting them off.
I think something's going to go bang in America. With any luck, it's just Donald.
Well, we can.
there goes a whole quarter of the freaking U.S.
Orange
It's better
shit.
than the Hindenburg with all that hot air.
No, what I want to see is Keir Starmer and Donald Trump shake hands, and as they shake hands, they spontaneously combust.
God, think of the shit and orange crap everywhere. And on that note, we shall.
It'll be worth it.
Before these not scar anybody anymore.
Right.
Good night. Don't
Have a good week,
nightmares,
everybody.
people.
Good night, all.
Good night.